Hey everybody, J-Man105 back again, and this is for part 2 of card types in the Star Trek CCG. So without any further ado, let's get to part 2 and I'll go over the second of 8 types of cards in the game. Well, here we are with part 2, and I'm going to start with the facility card. A facility can either be an outpost, a base, a headquarters, or a space station. This is where you start off from, where you get your personnel, you beam them onto your ships, along with equipment and other things. This is Deep Space Nine. It happens to be a double-sided card, one of the few in the game. It could also double as Terok Nor if you're playing as Cardassian. At an outpost, you would report, as I mentioned, your personnel, equipment, and everything for duty, but stations such as Deep Space Nine, Terok Nor, and any Nor can also use sites. Like with ships, stations have weapons and shields, but no range because they don't move. They're stations or outposts. They're not supposed to move. Next card type is equipment, and you would tailor the equipment in your deck to the affiliation you're using. For example, this is an engineering tricorder. Gives all of your medical classification personnel the extra skill of engineer where present. This could really help you out with certain missions, especially if you don't have a heavy contingent of engineers available, but you need that skill to be more prevalent to pass the missions. Other equipment types include enhancements for ships. There are weapons, both blades and particle beams, and other equipment like cloaking devices, mobile hollow emitters, and transporter modules. They all are designed to enhance ships and personnel and help you complete missions. The site card, and this is another type of card that was introduced into the game that I never really liked, and it came with the DS9 set. The site card is primarily to be used on either Deep Space Nine, Terok Nor, or any Nor type station, i.e. that. They give your stations extra areas for you to report personnel or equipment or things that help you repair your ships or detain personnel. Again, it slows the game down, much like the incident cards. I don't use them. I know a lot of people that do use them. I'm not saying anything bad about using them other than the fact that they slow the game down. You can, I'm not the biggest fan. Tactic cards. These came out in Blaze of Glory. This used the Battle Bridge Door side deck, which is composed of tactic cards. These tactic cards are used in battle, so instead of just the clockwise turning and math battles that we used to have, which I actually prefer because there's less to do, you now have weapons and attacks that are tailored to certain affiliations and certain ships. In this case, Bajoran phaser banks, attack and defense bonus +2 if you have a Bajoran ship firing with resistance or navigation aboard, or +4 if one crew member has both skills. And you would turn the card clockwise in certain intervals depending on the damage. You also have extra lore here. Casualties randomly kills one personnel on a Nor, one personnel outside of opponent's choice. It does to the ship that you're attacking range -1, weapons -1, shields -1, hull is -30%. Again, Battle Bridge side deck, you need to bring that out. Which brings me to doorways. As the card states, with the name Doorway, it opens a door into another facet of the game. These came out in Alternate Universe, and I love doorways because they do many different things. In this case, the Alternate Universe door, place one on table during the seed phase. Door is now open, allowing your Alternate Universe icon cards or futuristic cards to enter play. Or you can stock in your deck and use it to nullify a great many number of other cards that your opponent might be playing. There are different doorways that do different things. You have Mannheim's Dimensional Door. You have the Q's Tent Door, which opens another side deck. You have the Ready Room Door. You have the Space Dock Portal, which is a double-sided card, which is a very cool card. You have a Space-Time Portal, which does this, but only better. Doorways are awesome. Artifacts. These are seated under missions that you would accomplish later. You would get the artifact and use it to its potential at that time. There is the odd artifact in the game that can be played from your hand. They give you certain powers and abilities. For example, the Blade of Takan. Immediately relocate to any one planet location and all cards there to a different place on the space line. Discard artifact. That could be huge in a game, especially if you have an away team that is close to death. The last two card types go hand in hand, and before anyone says anything, the Triple CCG is a separate CCG, but it's all under the Star Trek CCG banner, so I'm including it. Trouble can be used in a normal Star Trek CCG game. It deals with triples, as you can see here, and the trouble card is in the engine room. If there's 100 triples present on a ship, reduces weapon -1 and range -1. If there's 1,000 on a ship, it is stopped after each of its moves unless 3 engineer aboard. If it's at an ore processing unit, suspends process ore. The triples would be your numerical cards, either 100, 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000. If you are using them in the triple CCG, which I'm not getting into, you'd go with the other icons that are on the card. And there you have it. The last of the 16 types of cards in the Star Trek CCG First Edition. Lovely, aren't they?